Space nerds. Y'all know what the focus is right now. 4.8.1, it's been broken. 4.8 was broken. The Invictus Week stuff was broken. I'm going to take you on a full rundown of how this has progressed from the original day one announcement at DefenseCon when CIG realized things are not going well, to the updates on Spectrum, maintenance periods being added, maintenance period being done, to the status. At least as of recording on Saturday, still not being great. Things are looking a little rough, but I'm going to try and walk you through how CIG's been trying to handle it, and we can, I guess, talk about how we've been handling it, just to say poorly. Here is the first notification, really, that anybody... Well, okay. First notification we had things are wrong were all the players screaming. Here's the first acknowledgement CIG gave, though, that there was something going on with 4.8's release.
These guys work hard. These guys work hard to make these ships as good as they can be. And unfortunately, as the nature of running a live environment in the middle of your development, sometimes things don't work. I mean, folks are asking, obviously. Let's use this opportunity to talk about the mission system. Why not? We were going to do it at some point. The mission system is having some trouble. You obviously don't need me to tell you that if you've tried to jump in. They are working on a hotfix to fix that right now. The patch that we mentioned that's supposed to be going out next Tuesday is not for hotfixes. That's an actual legitimate build and a patch. The hotfix for the emission system that will hopefully restore what's happening there, I don't have any more details about specifics, will go out as soon as somebody decides that it's ready to go out. But hotfixes, patch is different. There's also another question in there about why we release things in such states. And every time that question comes up quite often, I go...
That's a fun question, because schedule. So take with that what you will. Obviously, when they did release, like, they came out the next week. Let's see. Let me make sure I get my dates right, because after they said that was the 15th, they came out with some hot fixes on the 19th and the 21st, I believe. Let me see if I can find those real quick. Yeah, here we go. So this Hotfix Central was the post that was up originally. Put up May 14th to talk about the current problems with 4.8 Live. Now, we had a May 21st hotfix. That would be the one that came out the following Thursday. And this brought in the individual claim mode, which was supposed to help with things that were pledged not being able to be retrieved. They also took care of some server crashes, client crashes, multi-vehicular problems with landing services, landing area checking obstruction bounds, having problems, contested zone airlocks, mission QT target moving away rapidly through space, a bunch of stuff. Here's a fix for the ironclad thruster audio, but it wasn't a lot of the things that people had problems with, particularly the ironclad. That was like a really big focus for folks, but we also have problems with like the hints things showing up, not game breaking, but very annoying. For some reason, I couldn't land at Security Post Korea. It was just like soaring through space, desynced. It's weird. And then there's just a bunch of other stuff that's stacking up. People are shard locked. People are having problems getting their stuff. There's things not showing up in your inventory. It felt like it was just a real catastrophe of the database. Another hotfix went out after that on the 28th. They said it went out overnight to fix an area issue where some ships cannot be claimed through claimed insurance loadouts. This affected the Shiv and the Cutlass. But that was really the hotfix focus of that week. A post went out on June 1st by somebody named Doc Orange saying, "I'm still holding the line, but honestly, it's getting tired." I think a lot of people are kind of feeling this way. Most folks who are currently playing are super enthusiastic about the game making progress, want to see new features in the game, and want to see progress, but I think most folks genuinely just want to be able to adequately test the stuff that CIG is putting into the game, and it's getting harder and harder to do that. Now, Niku gave us this update on June 1st, saying a quick update on several issues. They had the hotfix stuff that went out recently. That was the claimed insurance loadout stuff we just talked about. The Mobiglass route button had an incorrect interaction area in cases where the button itself was not responsive. The clickable area was shifted slightly to the right. You could still reliably use R to set routes. I'm not sure if they're trying to say that this was fixed, but it wasn't. I still can't set routes. Docking issues preventing both manual and automatic docking at certain stations have also been hotfixed to live. I have heard this is not fixed, has not been fixed, is still broken. So I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that. Maybe they took care of some problems, but not all of them. I don't know. And then we have May 21st. This was just a reminder of the individual claim mode and that they brought that new insurance thing in to fix that. Moving on, they also had some reproduced and in progress bugs. The scanning and targeting currently not functioning when the command module is docked. Command module is just a triggering set of words because there's so many problems around it in general. But this was one that had not been fixed as of June 1st. Another was the reports regarding lost personal hangers. Some people just classic losing their hangers. Also being investigated. And then these being fixed but awaiting implementation as of, again, June 1st, includes an issue causing the CU lane interaction buttons to become difficult or impossible to press, has been fixed 2 hours ago and is waiting implementation. And regarding duplication exploits, this remains as an active area of focus on teams. Yeah, they're still trying to hit exploits. We all saw, we got to see some exploit drama yesterday, which there's a little follow-up on that. I'll let you guys know in a bit. But people kept talking, kept asking, what the heck's going on? Obviously, this was just one update. So after this June 1st update, they let us obviously know that there were some other fixes that needed to be implemented, and so people were waiting. And thus, the next day, Niku let us know there was going to be a maintenance update to 4.8.1. This was going to be included with the update that brings in the new combat missions, but it wasn't originally planned, obviously, but because 4.8 is doing so poorly, they also wanted to include a maintenance period. The following day, the maintenance period was delayed. Yeah. So, wait. No. I'm missing a screen here. The maintenance period was delayed. I don't have that post here for some reason, but believe me, it was pushed out of the 4.8.1 update to actually come out the following day. Yeah, because they wanted to get a little bit more in there, something else more important that they needed a little more time to work on. So when that maintenance period finally came along, they said, "Hi everyone, this is Xylo. We've scheduled the previously mentioned 4.8.1 maintenance for tomorrow, June 5th, beginning at 12 UTC. During this time, Star Citizen Live service will be offline for approximately 6 hours while we apply updates to both the game's servers and client, including a variety of fixes and improvements." Now, I'm sure many of you are about as obsessed with Star Citizen as I am, and saw the just absolute, I don't know if we're going to see any posts about it here, because the news cycle has moved on in the last 4 hours, but there were a lot of posts complaining about how long the maintenance went on, and it was not 6 hours. It got extended to 8 hours, I think, and then 10 hours. I think it ultimately went on for close to 12 hours. But thus, here we are. We're on the other side of the maintenance patch. Now is our chance to see what happened with it. Wikipedia put out an update last night. That'd be Friday evening in California. Giving folks an idea of what just happened. Feature updates. First, player trade notifications refactor with economy authorization service. This is replacing the player AUEC trade flow with an authorized ticket model that will require both parties to consent to the trade before it completes. This is great. The receiving player will receive a notification alert when AUEC is sent, prompting them to accept or deny. The sender will have a pending message. If not accepted in time by the receiver, the transaction will cancel. This system also introduces trade limits and amount caps. Both of those things, not good. Oh, God, this one. I understand that, they want to do caps on money so you can't send a bunch for, real money trades or whatever. But man, this seriously hurts the ability to do... I mean, this is a step backwards for orgs. I'm not going to say that orgs are the thing that CIG needs to be focusing on completely, but in terms of making orgs work, they have not given us anything to the point where their own, Jared will go on camera and be like, "What the heck's going on? You guys put this in the website 16 years ago." Yeah, 16 years ago. Am I doing my math right? No, I'm not doing my math. 13 years ago. It's 16 doesn't sound right. And it's still not there. But now, instead of getting an org bank to store stuff in so that people can come and grab stuff as they need, because you're not always online for your org, now, even if you have an account that's dedicated to being the org bank, you can't just leave that to collect all the money and access it when you need to pull some out. Now you have to go to that account every time somebody is going to send money to the account and accept it live. I'd be okay if there was like a queue that you could go and accept later. But the fact that there's a time limit to accept. Oh man. That sucks. This one's rough, but at least there's some movement going on with improving player trading. I don't even really think this is done just to improve player trading. It almost feels like this was just done for the caps and for the problems with the way that people were spending money before. All right, next up is the hangar collision insurance updates. Players will now receive a free insurance claim when the ship is destroyed due to collision inside a hangar. So whenever the hangar eats our own ships, basically. That's a solid one. This is very much like a fix-focused update. These are just straight up fixes that have become very obvious in the last couple months. There's also an experimental VR update, 3D UI markers and tractor added new 3D versions for all marker types, which can be activated with CVAR. UI markers enabled 3D. I'm going to save that because I want to try out VR on here again soon. Let's see. So you got vehicle entrance, object markers, POI markers, proper 3D transformation and jump point markers. Tractor and structural AR 2D version has been removed. Desktop also uses the new 3D version now. The VR just keeps getting better, which is pretty cool. And I'm wondering if this is at all rolling over from development focus on making sure to get Squadron VR ready, because we know that's happening. Important notes, the 3D versions look slightly different, but they're almost identical to the 2D versions. New projection helpers have been added to calculate the proper AR, render the texture, local space position, and the projected distance with scale, which scales with FOV and distance to with 3D, so 3D elements have always the same size. A lot of nerd talk. We're going to skip that and go to bug fixes. A lot of potential fixes here, but they are potential fixes. Yikes. Issues where vehicles would stop mid-flight or quantum, and the command module would undock on its own, potentially fixed. Issues where the active route would reset when switching between SCM and nav modes on ships equipped with the command module, potentially fixed. Issue where quantum travel markers did not behave correctly when a route was set on an ironclad or caterpillar spawn with the command module attached, potentially fixed. Issue where players were unable to dock at spaceports using docking collars across multiple systems, potentially fixed. There's quite a few of potential fixes here that people have been looking for. Interaction prompt for the cargo module disappears after reclaiming insured vehicles with the command module equipped. A lot of command module problems. These are the kinds of things we're going to go in game and actually check ourselves. I'm hearing, though, from people that this stuff is still broken, which is probably why it's listed as potential fix and not definite. Community's not happy. The poopy emoji is making a stand here. Clown emoji, you know, there's going to be all kinds of gnashing of teeth until things are fixed, and then once things are fixed, there won't be as much, but this has been a pretty rough cycle for Star Citizen, for CIG, and I think they need to maybe shuck things as normal, the usual go-to strategy, and take some time to like really actually get things back on the right track before they start losing people because folks don't think this is going to get fixed. It's feeling a little long in the tooth. But that's your look at what was supposed to be leading up to this point, which we now can go to the RSI status page and see that there are degraded issues detected. Persistent universe is degraded. Live service disruption is unresolved. The team is investigating as of 2:50 UTC, which I think would be like 3.5 hours ago, maybe. So we're going to go ahead and do our own due diligence. You know, boots on the ground. We're going to hop in game together and see what is and is not working. We're going to grab the Ironclad. We're going to grab a Maverick. And we're going to go and try and take on some missions if the game loads. Big if.